Good evening, people. Good evening, people. Arno TV is back with you once again on YouTube. And as we promised you, bringing you more videos about the people that we've been speaking about all along on this channel for nearly 5 years. Now, I was looking back through some of my old videos the other day, and I came across a video that I put out 4 years ago. Now, I think it's very, very relevant to where we are now at under this dictatorship and, this tyranny that we now live under. So let's just go over to the internet and let's just watch a video that I put out 4 years ago, and let's see who I was talking about, and let's just see how this video has held up over the test of time. Okay, so let's go over to the internet and let's just have a look at what we were speaking about on Arno TV nearly 4 years ago. Okay, so let's just have a look at this. Hi, and welcome back to Arno TV. I'm your lovable host Arno, coming back to you with another video. Now, in the videos that I did yesterday, I mentioned that I often dread waking up each day because I wonder what I'm going to see. And I've often thought that it can't be worse than what I've seen the day before, and it often is. Now, I've not been up too long, had shower, a few cups of tea or something, and I was watching something on Sky News. Now, I've just seen a report on Sky News where the Labour Party, headed by Keir Starmer, are wanting to put pressure on the government that anybody that says anything negative in any way about the vaccine online should be removed. Okay? And not only that, they want to put pressure on the social media companies like YouTube and Facebook and everybody else, that anybody who's got content on their platform in the UK that speaks out in any negative way about the vaccine, they'll be fined, and there'll be financial consequences for allowing that kind of stuff online. Now, this is just unbelievable, right? Because what these people are trying to do now is silence any kind of opposition whatsoever to the vaccine. Okay, now I want to be quite clear here. I am not telling anybody to not have a vaccine or to have a vaccine, because that is a decision that should be left to the individual. Okay, now today the issue is the vaccine, but this could be anything. What these people are wanting to do is to remove your right to have any kind of dissent and opposition to anything they want to put through. Now, I'm getting quite sick of this kind of thing now. This is getting beyond a joke, because these are the kind of people that are in league. Anybody out there as well who thinks that the Labour Party are the saviour to everything and the Conservatives are all negative. Well, let me tell you something. They're both just as bad as each other. These people are all singing from the same song sheet. So don't forget that before we went into this, alleged month-long national lockdown in England, who was the person that was putting all the pressure on Johnson to enforce this lockdown? It was Keir Starmer, wasn't it? So they are both as bad as each other. Now, let me put a hypothetical question to you, right? Let's say there's a group of doctors out there that discover that there's something, there's a side effect of some kind that's going to affect people who have had this vaccine, and they need to let people know about it. Are you telling me that these people should be made, that it should be illegal for them to go online as a qualified doctor and say, I found something out and this could affect loads of people? Are you serious? This is unbelievable. What kind of tyranny are we living in here? Seriously, what kind of tyranny are we living in this country now? Because This is what these people want to do. And I'm telling you, this is all part of this agenda that's been pushed through by people like Schwab at the Economic Forum, at the World Economic Forum, pushing things like this Great Reset and you know, the Fourth Industrial Revolution. This is why I've told you to go look into this, because if you actually look at what the agenda is these people are pushing, and these NGOs, they're working hand in hand with our government and every other government out there to push all this through. So, you know, this is why I'm telling people, start questioning what's going on here, because this is just beyond a joke. This is a tyranny, you know? I mean, how can any government take away the individual right of somebody to choose a medical procedure? Now, as I've said, I am not telling anybody not to have it or to have it. That is your choice. It's your choice. And nobody should take your choice away from you. So if you can't see that this is the thin end of the wedge here of what's going on, we are going into dystopian times, what I never thought I would see in my life. And some of the things that have been pushed under this guise of lockdowns and all these new laws that have been pushed through, you know, it's absolutely frightening. Now, seriously, I am telling you, you need to start questioning things like this. And you know, Keir Starmer's pushing this because he's got such a great record, hasn't he? I mean, let's not forget, he was head of the CPS when they didn't charge Jimmy Savile. So I'm not suggesting, because I've looked into this, there's no, there's no actual direct evidence that he was involved in that decision personally, yeah? But the fact of the matter is, he was head of that organisation at that time, and the buck should stop with him. And he's talking about wanting to take your personal rights away like this. Well, he's well trustworthy, isn't he, Keir Starmer? You know, I mean, this is just unbelievable. Unbelievable that we should be living in a country where this kind of thing is going on, and they're wanting to take these kind of rights away from you. Do you understand what's going on here? Are people now understanding why I am so concerned? I mean, think about this. If there were a group of doctors out there that discovered there was something wrong or something in this vaccine that was going to cause lots of people problems, are you telling me that they should not be allowed to go online and give that information to the public? Because that's what Keir Starmer is pushing. So he's a tyrant. He's another one. Don't fall for these people. You know, they're trying to basically pit us all against each other with these identity politics. You know, all us people at the bottom are the ones that are going to have to live under this. Yeah? Now, we've seen, you know, the thing that I put out yesterday where, you know, we've got the army now going into schools, you know, force testing people. What's next? Are they going to be force vaccinating people? Yeah? Because, as I've said, I am not saying to have it or not to have it. That's not the issue. The issue is taking away your right to object and dissent. Is that a democracy? No, it's not. This is an authoritarian state that's been created for us. You know, as I've said before, what's it going to take? The bars on your window to be put there before you realise that you've been built a prison to live in? This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, seriously, people, start questioning what the hell is going on here. Because this is just beyond a joke now, that these people are suggesting things like this, taking your personal rights away. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, I'm going to leave it at that because... So, people, we're talking about the vaccine there, weren't we? Yeah? But as I said in that video, it's the vaccine today, but what comes next that they're going to stop you objecting to and take your personal rights away from you? Well, we now live in a world under Starmer, yeah, where people have been sent to prison for years for things that they said online, you know, on Twitter, on X, or on Facebook. And let me make this absolutely clear. I am not talking about anybody that called for any kind of violence or anything like that. I am talking about people who objected to the events that have gone on over this summer, and we all know what I'm talking about, okay? We have people now in prison for years for words. At the same time, people like Starmer are releasing hardened criminals to make room for people that objected to things online. This is the world that someone like Starmer has taken us into. Be under no illusions, people. We are living under a tyranny, and there is no doubts about it, okay? Now, I would have loved to have come online in the summer and given my personal opinions about all the things that have gone on, and we know exactly what I'm talking about, but I don't want to end up getting locked up in jail for 3 or 4 years for having my own opinion and objecting to some of the things that have been going on, okay? We have a government that's talked about misinformation and disinformation. Well, I want people to think about the things that our government told us in the early part of the summer, in July and August, about the things that had happened and what has come out recently about those exact same things. Now, are they what they told you? No, they're not, are they? Are they? And people are now locked up in jail because they dissented against the government. And like I said, let me make this 100% clear. I am not talking about anybody that went out and committed violence or anything of that nature. I'm talking about people who were protesting against the actions of our despicable, vile, abhorrent government, who are headed by Stalin, Starmer and his brown shirts. Okay? That is where we're at with these people. So when I tried to warn you about people like Keir Starmer and the agendas that people like Starmer are pushing, I'm not kidding. We are now living in a world, people, where people are in prison for words, for God's sake. Like I said in that video, what is it going to take for people to realise that you have been built a prison to live in? Is it going to take the bars on your windows to be erected before you realise that? Okay? And I want to make... And the people out there, the idiotic people out there that voted for someone like Starmer, you need to have a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror, okay? Because this man, in my personal opinion, is a tyrant. And his actions have showed him to be just that. We have a Prime Minister that's effectively declared war on the British people, in my opinion, okay? Now, these people, like I told you all along, have a lot to answer for. And these people are playing identity politics and trying to pit everybody at the bottom against each other, which is an absolute disgrace. Unbelievably, we have now a Prime Minister. Yeah, unbelievably, we now have a Prime Minister that's made somebody like Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak not look that bad. Which is unbelievable because they're a disgrace. Okay? And when I told you all along that these people are all working together and they're all working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum, pushing the agendas of the Great Reset, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, stakeholder capitalism, the Great Narrative, and whatever else these people want to push out there. I'm not kidding. And if you had any doubts about where Keir Starmer's loyalties lie, okay, let me show you something that will demonstrate to you exactly who he represents. So let's just have a look at another quick video about Keir Starmer, okay? So let's go back over to the internet and let's just have a quick look at that, shall we?
Let us just ask you quickly, you have to choose now between Davos or Westminster.
Davos.
Why?
Because Westminster is too constrained, and it's closed, and we're not having meaning. Once you get out of Westminster, whether it's Davos or anywhere else, you actually engage with people that you can see working with in the future. Westminster is just a tribal shouting place.
Let us just ask you quick.
Oh, I see. Keir Starmer chooses Davos over Westminster, does he? Does he? So when I told you people all along out there, and I was accused of conspiracy theory and being a nutcase, yeah? When I told you people out there who these people are working with and that they're all working hand in hand with the World Economic Forum and that they all have a lot to answer for, I wasn't kidding. I wasn't kidding about that. These people are working hand in hand with the WEF, pushing the agendas that we have spoken about all along. We now are in a situation where the British public are too scared to speak out. Yeah? Because, we're living in a world where dissenting against his own government gets you slung in jail for 3 or 4 years. Yeah? Does this sound like a democracy to you? Does it? No, it doesn't, does it? It sounds like what I told you all along. A tyranny. These people are tyrants. And Starmer has a hell of a lot to answer for. Now, as I said, there's a lot of things that I would have liked to have come online and discussed with all of you people over the summer. But do you blame me not for doing that? Because they're actually now throwing people in jail if you object to the government narrative. And I want you people out there, especially you people that voted this tyrant in, yeah? I want you to remember the things that they told you about, the events that unfolded over the summer, okay? I want you to think about what their narrative was and what is now coming out nearly, 4 months later, yeah, about the actual facts of the matter. And that's all I can really say, because, again, I do not want to end up in prison, okay? And, also, I don't want to end up in contempt of court either. But these people, these vile, despicable, tyrannical people, this is the dark road that they have taken us down. And when I told you during the pandemic that I feared that we were going to end up in a world something of the like of the 1930s, where on earth do you think we are now? Okay? Do you think, is anybody of sound mind out there think that a government should be locking up and imprisoning people that dissent against the government narrative? Because if that is something you're comfortable with, there really is no hope for you. Zero hope for you. Now, I would like to see, because unbelievably, someone like Elon Musk is actually calling these people out, okay? And now he's going to be part of the new administration in America. I'd like to make a plea to Elon Musk. I'd like to see him come to the UK, okay, and put some of these people to task about what they are doing and put huge pressure on these people, because what is going on is nothing short of tyranny. And I would also like to see Elon Musk start putting huge pressure on organisations like YouTube, etc., Facebook, other social media companies who are silencing legitimate free speech. And let me make this absolutely clear. I am not talking about anybody who goes out there and calls for violence or anything of that nature. I am not talking about that. I am talking about the right to dissent against your own government. This is supposed to be a democracy, and we are no longer living in a democracy, it's quite clear. And we are now living under, in my personal opinion, a communist dictatorship. That is where these vile, despicable, abhorrent people have taken us. And remember, people like Starmer, whose loyalties to Davos and the 1,000 richest companies in the world and the World Economic Forum, yeah? Remember, the World Economic Forum, they love authoritarian states like China, don't they? They absolutely love authoritarian states. Where are we now at, people? When I tried to warn you over the pandemic about what was coming, I wasn't kidding. I wasn't doing this for effect. I wasn't doing this for clicks and views. I'm doing this because I am deeply, deeply concerned and very, very worried about where we have headed and where we are heading in the future. Because if this kind of thing continues, okay, if this kind of thing continues, I dread to think where we're going to be at in a few months' time. I really, really do. Because we are living in a prison. We are no longer in a democracy, okay? These people, when I've told you that these people had a lot to answer for, I wasn't making it up, okay? These people have a lot to answer for. And we have a despicable, vile Prime Minister who's quite happy to go on TV and say that he chooses Davos over Westminster. What more proof do you people need out there to realise that what I was warning you about all along is what is happening? And I cannot believe that the general election that we had in July, yeah, not one party at all spoke about what went on in the pandemic, as if it never happened, okay? This is a dark road that we are on, people. Democracy is being ripped up, like I told you, and thrown into the dustbin of history. And we are at a critical time in our country's history. I'm glad to see that there are quite a lot of people waking up. But unfortunately, a lot of people are too scared to say anything or do anything because we have a government that is quite happy to throw people in jail for years, yeah, for dissenting against the government online. Okay? At the same time, these same people are quite happy to let out hardened criminals to make room for these people. This is the world that Starmer has taken us into. And I refer to him as Starmer because he is a tyrant. And he's quite clearly a dictator, in my opinion. Okay? And I'll state it's my personal opinion, just so I don't break any terms and conditions or anything, yeah? Because this is the world that these people have taken us into. So, people out there need, if you've not woken up, it's time to get your head out of the sand. Stop behaving like an ostrich. Get your head out of the sand. Because we are living in very, very dark times. And these people, it seems to me, are quite happy to take us back to a world that's something of the like of the 1930s. I want people to think about that, okay? Because what on earth is coming in the next few months, who knows, okay? This is the world that Starmer has taken us into. So if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then like and subscribe to this channel. And once you do, ring the notification bell so I can inform you people out there about future streams I'm going to be putting out, future videos that I'm going to be putting out, about all these people. Because as I promised you, I refuse to stay silent while these people run around ripping up democracy and throwing it into the dustbin of history. And be under no illusions, people, that is exactly what these people are doing. And if Elon Musk is out there and listening to something like this, please put these people to task of what they are doing to the British people. Because it strikes me we have a Prime Minister that has declared war on the British people. This man is an absolute disgrace, like I said all along. So I will be back soon, people, with more videos and streams for you as promised. But until then, take care, look after your friends and your family, yeah? And whatever you do, stop listening to these people. Until then, until next time, should I say, take care.